Imagine standing at the edge of the sea with no way out and an army chasing you. What would you do? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of how God led the Israelites, parted the Red Sea, and proved his unstoppable power. It's a journey of faith and freedom. This is found in Exodus 7, verse 12. It's the story of how God showed his power and delivered his people, the Israelites, from slavery. Let's jump right in. So, here's the deal. The Israelites were slaves in Egypt for years. Like we're talking about 400 years of hard labor under Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. God sees their suffering and decides it's time to set them free. He sends Moses and Aaron to Pharaoh with a simple message: let my people go. But Pharaoh, nah. He's hard-hearted. He refuses to let the Israelites go. And that's when God steps in with the plagues. Moses strikes the Nile River with his staff, and boom, the water turns to blood. All the fish die and the water smells awful. Imagine trying to drink that. Pharaoh sees this, but he's like, nope, not letting them go. Next, God sends frogs. Not a few frogs, a lot of frogs. Frogs. In the beds, in the ovens, in the mixing bowls. Pharaoh's magicians could copy this one, but Pharaoh starts to crack. He asks Moses to pray for the frogs to go away. Moses does, and the frogs die. But Pharaoh changes his mind and says, nope, you're staying. God sends gnats next. These tiny bugs swarm everywhere. Pharaoh's magicians try to copy it, but they fail. Even they admit this is the finger of God. But Pharaoh still refuses to let the people go. Now God sends flies. Swarms of flies are everywhere, except in Goshen, where the Israelites live. God's making it clear, I'm protecting my people. Pharaoh starts bargaining. Okay, maybe you can go sacrifice to your God, but stay in Egypt. Moses is like, nope, we gotta go. Pharaoh agrees, but then he changes his mind again. The fifth plague hits Egypt's livestock: horses, donkeys, camels, sheep, cows, all dead. But again, nothing happens to the Israelites' animals. Pharaoh, still stubborn. Now God sends boils, painful sores, on the Egyptians and their animals. Imagine everyone scratching and in pain. Pharaoh's magicians, they can't even stand before Moses because they're covered in boils. But Pharaoh still refuses to let the people go. Next comes hail, massive chunks of ice falling from the sky. It destroys crops, animals, and anyone caught outside. But again, Goshen is safe. Pharaoh admits, I've sinned, pray to God for me. Moses prays, and the hail stops, but Pharaoh hardens his heart again. Then God sends locusts, millions of them. They eat every plant left after the hail. Pharaoh's officials even beg him to let the Israelites go, but he still won't. Now it's dark. Not regular nighttime dark, but thick darkness for 3 days. People can't even move because they can't see. But in Goshen, the Israelites have light. Pharaoh finally says, fine, go, but leave your animals. Moses says, nope, we're taking everything. Pharaoh flips and tells Moses to get out of his sight. Finally, God sends the 10th plague, the most devastating. Every firstborn in Egypt dies, from Pharaoh's son to the poorest servant's child. But God tells the Israelites to sacrifice a lamb and put its blood on their doorposts. This is where the first Passover happens. When the angel of death sees the blood, it passes over their homes and they're safe. Pharaoh finally gives in after this. Pharaoh can't take it anymore. He calls Moses and says, go.